And I know for a fact, because I've been seeing them, I've been creeping in here at night and reading your letters, I know that your letters are amazing. Do you think your letters are amazing?
Yeah.
Why do you think your letters are amazing? Why do you think your letters are so amazing? Beverly, why do you think your letters are so amazing?
I think our letters are so amazing because we take time on them and we use our vocabulary and we use like describing the character, describing the setting, and also giving us key details.
How much money did Mr. Polanco pay you to say that?
Well, let's see, 5.
Say, Mr. Polanco's a really good teacher because you guys have been putting all of that awesome stuff in your letters. So I'm going to show you real quick today a way that you can make your letters even better. And the cool thing about what I'm showing you is you can do this not only for your letters. You can do it anytime you write anything. It's just like in writing, when we proofread, I know you guys have been making your stuff better in all of the grades before 4th grade. So we're going to talk about rereading our letter to make sure it makes sense and it's the best that we can be. So I want you to read over here, silently to yourself, some of the ways that we can reread our letters to make sure it makes sense. Can everyone see the poster?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and read silently to yourself. Read silently to yourself some ways that we can reread our letter.
Do you read your letters slowly and carefully?
We're reading in our head, Xavier.
Jameer, what's one thing that we can do when we reread our letter to make sure it makes sense?
Reread the letter slowly and carefully.
Reread the letter slowly and carefully. Very, very important, because that's the way we're going to be able to understand that it makes sense and it's the best that it can be. So I really want to focus on that today. I'm going to show you guys how I would do that with my letter. So take a look at my letter. Hey class. You say hi.
Hi.
Hi. So when I read the book, Love That Dog by Sharon, I thought the way she used the poetry was so cool. That was a pretty long sentence. So I want to stop for a second, right? Because I said I need to pause after every second, every sentence, or every 2 sentences. And I'm going to ask myself some questions. Does it make sense? Would my reader understand this? Is there any way I can make it better? So let me think. When I read the book, Love That Dog by Sharon, I thought the way she used poetry was so cool. I'm thinking right now, let me take my Love That Dog. Do you think if my friends are reading this letter and they've never read this book, you think they're going to know who Sharon is? No. Who's Sharon? Who is Sharon? Sharon's the author. And what is Sharon's last name? Creech. So I want to add in her last name so that it's more clear in case one of my friends wants to read this awesome book that I love. So I can add this thing called a carrot. A carrot? Like a carrot that you eat? No. This carrot helps me add things to my letter if I want to make it better. So I'm going to add her last name here. Now, it looks a little messy, and that's okay, because my letters in my notebook are things that I keep working on. So it's okay if it looks a little messy, because when I publish my final letter, I can add these things in a clear way. So far I'm reading slowly and I'm adding things in. Let me keep going. I thought the way she used poetry was so cool. The poems make the novel. The poems make the novel. I know what I mean. I know what the poems do to the novel. What? The people that read my letter, they're like, the poem makes the novel what? It makes the novel a sandwich? It makes the novel silly? It makes the novel funny? I don't know, right? You guys know because you've read the book, and that's what's really hard, is I know what I mean, but I have to make sure I tell the people that are reading my letter. So think about it. what do the poems do to make this book really cool? How do the poems make this book different than other books we've read? What do you think? What do you think?
I think
So I said the poems make the novel. What do the poems in this book do for this book?
the poems do.
Let me ask you a question. Do most books you read are they made up of a bunch of poems? No. So this book is pretty different than other books we read, right? So do I explain that to you in my letter? The poem makes the novel. So I could explain it by saying the poems make the novel different, special, more unique. What do you think?
I think probably in the letter, like when the letter probably, I think one thing that the person that made the poem, that made this letter, I think probably when they said the poems make the novel, I think when they said the poems make the novel, they must have wanted to write something else. Or
Yeah.
Because it would make sure that you say the poem makes the novel, because I know when you try to like replace it as funny, when you say the poem makes the novel funny, it makes more sense. So when it says exercise question such as doesn't make sense, that not like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so the poems make the novel what? Do they make it funny? Do they make it scary? Do they make it boring? I'm gonna say the poems make the novel unique, because I like that. I like that we came up with that word, because I think it's really special. So I put my caret before my period, so that I remember I want to say the poems make the novel unique. And then I know my period goes there. So let me keep reading slowly to see if the rest of my letter makes sense. I really connected with Miss Stretchberry. She wouldn't stop giving her class poetry assignments. This sounds mean, but it's not. How can I make this clearer? How can I make this clearer? I said this sounds mean, but it's not. How can I make this clearer? How can I make this clearer?
I'll make it rough by telling like the reader why like he thinks it's mean, but why does he really think it's mean?
Oh, so I'm saying, right now it's confusing, right? Because this sounds mean, but it's not. So I might be saying it is mean, my reader might be confused. I'm saying, but it's not. So I need to add some evidence. So I'm gonna add in, it's not, I'm gonna use my, what's that thing called?
Caret.
Use my caret. But it's not because this helps the main character. What's his name again?
Jack.
Jack. Okay. Helps the main character, Jack. Now, like I said in the beginning, it's okay. This looks a little messy because it's in my notebook, and that's okay for now. Okay? I also noticed I got stuck on this word. She wouldn't stop giving her class poetry assignments. I'm realizing now, because I've seen Mr. Polanco write this word a lot, that I spelled it wrong. That's okay. I'm just gonna cross it out. And I know it's assignments. Okay, so I'm gonna add my N back in so I remember that, because that's gonna help make it more clear for my reader. The more Jack writes, the less he hates poetry, because he learns that he does have something to say. What do you guys think? Love, Miss R. Now, let me think about this question for a second. Does it make sense? Yeah. What do you guys think? That makes sense. Will my reader understand this? I'm seeing a lot of mm-ms. Talk to your partner. Why wouldn't my reader understand?
So the reader wouldn't understand it, so they wouldn't know
What would have been a better question?
And also, live by that.
All right, bring it back
Think
in
about
3,
what?
2,
That's what she
1,
already asked us.
0. So I heard a couple of kids telling me that, what do you guys think? Do I even really need this question? I heard some people talking about that. Maybe not, but I know we learned it a couple lessons ago that that's a cool way to help my reader really connect with my letter, right? If I ask them a question that they want to answer, that really makes them like, okay, I feel like I'm part of this letter. But a lot of people were confused. They said, what do you guys think about what? So I want to make sure it's really clear to my readers that I want to know, what do you guys think about poetry? Because this book has a lot of poems. So I want to make it really clear that we're thinking about poetry. So I did a lot of different things today. I crossed out some words. I added in some carrots to make it more clear. I want you to talk with your partner about ways that you can make your letter more clear today. Talk with your partner about ways that you can make your letter more clear today. Go.
Good. What do you say? What are you going to do to make your letter consistent? You're going to be very strong today.
So I added that Bring it back in 3, 2, 1, and 0. Gilbert, start us off. What are some things I did today in my poem that you can do in your poem, in your letter?
Some things you did, you added some carrots.
Oh, I added these carrots. Say yum yum carrots.
Yum, carrots. So your letter can like make sense.
So I added more carrots so it would make sense. What else did I do? What else did I do that you can do? Beverly.
Because you noticed that maybe the reader might not understand it. You actually made it more specific than like you just leaving it and not doing anything else. And also you also made like your spelling.
I made it more specific, and I fixed some of my spelling. Kennedy, you were talking to Gilbert. What's a way I made it more specific or made it more clear?
By making an inference.
Yeah, I added an inference in, and I also added in some text evidence. Say, way to go, Kennedy.
Way to go, Kennedy.
So you guys can do all of this in your letter today. When I say go, I want you to take out your independent reading book and pass down your Reader's Workshop notebooks. Go.
Isaiah, so pass the papers before you start going to the. I'm not sure. I was doing
Notebooks are out in 3. Books are out in 2. Voices are off in 1. Eyes are tracking here in 0. Way to go, team. Nice job. You got it, Isaiah. Over there. Okay, so. Mr. Polanco, how do I?
You want the projector on?
I wanted it to work with my computer.
Oh, that's.
Not gonna. All right, team, what I want you to do is I want you to turn and tell your partner something you're wondering about your book that you're trying to solve today. Tell your partner what's something you're wondering about your book. really cool things. Nassim, what's something you're wondering about the book today?
I wonder why
Xavier, listen to Nassim.
I wonder why Mr. made the Avengers.
Ooh, why they made the Avengers. Xavier, what's something you're wondering about your book today?
I'm wondering about my book, More William, is how it's funny because it was in the humorous section, and when I read it, I didn't really see no funny jokes.
That's really fun. So you're like, so far, I don't think this book is funny, and I'm wondering why it was in that bin. That's a great wondering to find out today. One more wonder.
When I was reading this book, I was figuring out why they was like going, like trying to fight him.
So you're gonna figure out why they're trying to find your character?
Mhm.
Okay. Books closed, eyes here, 3. Books closed, eyes here, 2. Books closed, eyes here. I know we're so excited to read. We're going to in 1 minute. 1. Okay. So today, when you guys are reading, I told you earlier it's gonna be a little bit different. If you want to open your notebook and jot some ideas while you're reading, things that you're wondering, you can do that. You can also pick one of the topics for your reading journal and start writing about it. At the end of reading time today, I'm going to look for kids to share that reread their letters and made them better, or that found something they were wondering in their book. So when we come back together, if you're not done with your letter or you're not choosing your letter today, that's okay. But if you are, I want you to reread it and see if you can make it better like we did as a team. Okay? Books out. Let's get reading.
Okay.